Hello, good evening, SN viewers. This is Satellite Media. Mr. Chinedu Michael, let us look at the matters arising sequel to the ongoing nationwide protest hashtag end bad governance. We are seeing surprise move, seeing northern youths chanting the Russian government and military to come and save Nigeria, perhaps calling for military takeover. This is surprising and is novel in our country. The human rights activist Falana have said this is treasonable.
Yes, I think it's good that it's coming from that side of the country. Imagine we are assuming that kind of a thing happened in the east. Imagine what the military would have been doing by now. They would have surrendered everywhere, you know. But the fact is coming from the north, it tells a lot of story. No matter how you look at it, you know, it shows you that Nigeria is gradually dividing. And secondly, as they were using that flag, they were also shouting Putin, 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 Vladimir Putin of Russia, come, 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 come. What it means a lot of things. The military have seen it, you know. They are, I'm sure by now that have thrown the federal government to a serious emergency meeting, you know, and a security meeting, and they've been meeting to try to interpret, you know, the nature and the brain and the psychology of flying a flag like that in a sovereign nation, even though they have come to claim that it's the same flag they are flying is what was seen behind the president when he was making his speech over the end bad government protest. But that is not what we are talking about. What we are talking about, the action that led to the flying of, you know, Russian flag in Nigeria, which a lot of people have come to say, no, it's not Russia, it's not Russia, it's military, it's military. But the fact is that as they were using those things, they were, you know, shouting Russia prime minister, calling the prime minister to intervene. Possibly the Wagner mercenaries in Nigeria, in the Nigerian military, can be also be used. You know, you don't know where they are, you don't know where they stand, you don't know whether they're in the military, you don't know whether they're in the Asura, you don't know whether they're in the police. So seeing such thing means that there's a group in the Russian military they call the Wagner mercenaries, the Wagner group. They can be here in Nigeria. And from history, that it has shown that most of their attempts over the years has been very, very successful. To outsmart Nigeria and overthrow Nigeria is as easy as anything. So, and it coming from the north, now it tells you that they are calling Vladimir Putin, whichever way, come and rescue Nigeria. You know, that means the leadership of Nigeria has failed. That's what it means. Imagine a situation where another country's flag is being flown in a sovereign nation, even though the embassy or the Russian embassy has come out to say that we don't have any connection to overthrow the government of Tinubu. But the fact is that an action has been taken, and that action is what is giving the entire Aso Rock psychological torture currently now, because they don't know what will happen at the any moment from now. They don't know whether the Wagner mercenaries are already in Nigeria. They don't know whether the Russian powers are trying to do the same thing they did in Mali, do in Senegal, do in Niger. It's possible they can do it in Nigeria. And let me tell you, if there is any military push, Nigerians will support it, because you can see everywhere Nigerians are even confused. They are tired of the type of democracy they run in this part of the country. And you can see every now and then the citizens are tired. And the only way that people can be rescued economically is through, and of course politically, is through military intervention. What he's trying to say is that civilian government has failed, and you can see what the former president Obasanjo, Olusegun Obasanjo, is saying this morning.
Okay, now we understand that in Mali, in Niger, and in Burkina Faso, they already have a military regime, and this perhaps, do you think this is perhaps why Nigerian government is apprehensive?
They need to, even though that I keep on saying it, although the protesters, you know, they have made their presence, they have made their statement, they have successfully done their done what do what they're supposed to do. They've also given Bola Ahmed Tinubu a long run, for instance. But the fact is that currently now the Nigerian military, you can see that the president at a certain point gave orders. Nobody carried the order. Nobody carried the order. As I'm talking to you now, he is confined in a security position now, whereby he doesn't know what will happen at the end of the day, because it looks like his military chiefs, his aides are no longer obeying his orders, and he got to find out. So currently now, there's every need, because you cannot predict Vladimir Putin.
Okay, by the time you are saying the president gave order and nobody carried the order, let me quickly remind you that a tailor who must produce the Russian flag is in police custody, according to information from the police.
What concern the tailor? We are trying to tell you now the brain that is behind that flying of Russian flag in Asurok. What is the brain? The tailor, out of contributing to the factor that have led to the suffering of Nigeria, but decide to cut cloth and join it together. That does not mean that that ideology of flying the Russian flag is beyond what the tailor is doing. That's why the Nigerians they like chasing shadows. What concerns tailor with anybody can cut a white and this thing and sew it together? What does that mean? But what is the information they're trying to pass? What is the brain? What is the psychology? What is the ideology of that flag in Nigeria's sovereignty?
Now, if the tailor did not put it together, you will not see Russian flag all over the place in the northern Nigeria.
If you can tell me that there is a Russian flag in Zamfara, there is Russian flag in Abuja, there is Russian flag in Kano, there is Russian flag in Kaduna, there is Russian flag in Katsina, there is Russian flag in Zaria. Is it one tailor that saw everything? I'm trying to tell you that understand the ideology behind it first, meaning that it's possible that the people that are not taking orders from the president, the military chiefs or whoever they are, or the cabinet members that are distancing themselves from Tinubu now, might likely be the Wagner mercenaries they are talking about, and they can likely be the brain behind what is going on. And you can see that they come out and said that Atiku Abubakar is under watch, and because Atiku came out and said nobody should threaten anybody for flying whatever flag. So what does that mean? So there's no smoke without fire at the end of the day. But the fact is that arresting one tailor that is showing Russian flag, that does not mean anything for me. But what matters most is that what is the ideology, of this unfortunate thing we are seeing. Many things have happened under Tinubu. Nigerians are wondering how we get to where we are. We have not seen any government in the history of Nigeria where it has been termed to be a bad government, na Tinubu government. I've not seen a government that came out openly and told lies, na Tinubu government. Look at the issue of subsidy. If they come out and say he has removed subsidy, and you know honestly that you have not, the government is still paying subsidy. The third one is the issue of the protests, where you said you have done this, you have done that, and at the end of the day, we have not seen anything you have done. So the propaganda thing has gone to the level that it becomes a norm in Asurok, that they see propaganda as part of what they offer Nigerians as dividend of democracy, and that would not be acceptable. So in an atmosphere like that, bros, anybody that struggles, to get that understanding will believe that at this point in time Nigeria need to be rescued. And anybody, like from me, you understand, if it takes Israel and America to come to Nigeria to barricade anywhere, all our territories are Biafrans, I will go for it, because I would have ended up saving my own life and my identity. So if the Northerners are calling for Putin and Russian intervention in Nigeria, by what reasons of what is happening in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, and other countries, Russian presence has been accommodated, it just means there is hope. They're seeing it as hope. And I see that with this too, they already have fan base in Nigeria. That if they decide to carry out a military move against the support will become. So that's what it means. So that's the ideology. So they should not they should forget about what has this man this thing got to do, resting Taylor and other. I don't think those things are actually what we need at this point in time.
I must say a very big thank you, Mr. Chinedu Michael. This is Satellite Media, and I'm Mr. Martin. Thank you very much for your time. We hope to have you next time.